Good afternoon. Welcome at Solid ETV. Today's webinar will be about how to turn your Drupal into a digital experience platform. We will just want to give a few more people the opportunity to join, so we will start in about 2 minutes with the webinar. Hello, welcome again. So my name is Leen. I'm the marketing director at Drupal, and I'm very happy to introduce today's speaker and Drupal CEO, Dominique de Koolman. So just before we start, a few housekeeping rules. As a participant, you are not able to unmute your microphones during the session. So if you have any questions during the presentations, do not hesitate and use the chat. The chat is on the right-hand upper corner of your screen. And also right next to the chat, there is a poll. So as some of you have already seen, so I invite you all to have a quick look at the poll and to answer that so that we can dive a bit deeper during the Q&A. The presentation is about 30 minutes, so for sure we will have plenty of time to answer all your questions afterwards. And with that, I want to give the floor to Dominique to start the webinar. Enjoy.
All right, thank you, Leen. Welcome, good afternoon, everyone. So today we're going to look at how to turn your CMS, your Drupal CMS, if you have one, into DXP to stay relevant. So yeah, a quick background. Started out as a software engineer in the Drupal community. Evolved more to the strategy and the business side over time. And currently I have the role of CEO here at Drupal. So today what this webinar is about, so what we're going to talk about is on how we can go beyond CMS, because a CMS is not enough anymore. We want to get to know our customers. We want to We really want to know the customers. We want to know them better than they know themselves, basically. Our intention is to give them more easily what they want. And this will translate in what we call a return on experience. So a better digital experience will translate in return on investment. So to understand this, let's first look at the digital roadmap that most companies go through. And if we look at that, we start out with a website. We put out our products and our services. We try to attract traffic to it through different channels, social, paid channels, SEO. Maybe we send some emails. This has been going on for almost 20 years now. I think like most companies do have a simple website. This grew then further into getting to segment these different personas who come to visit your business and want to interact with you, all the way where we can once we get to know our customers, we can start to build in some rule-based personalization. We can know who they are. We can customize when they're logged in, and then it's getting interesting. Like the next step organizations can take is like we can try to predict what our customers want as a next step. We can start to automate certain processes. And the reason why we want to do these things is basically we can see that in three main categories. So it will improve our sales and marketing. It will improve service and delivery. And of course, it will allow our business to grow and we'll be able to sustain the business we already have. And then the last stage, that's the holy grail, where hopefully everyone wants to end up someday with his business, that he can interact with every customer in a one-to-one way, where every customer gets his special treatment. Of course, it's a long road to go there. So let's look at why this customer wants to be there, and why if your organization and your business succeeds in doing this, why that would be a really great thing. As you know, we're all customers with a lot of businesses, and the businesses were able to interact in whatever physical context we are in, whatever way we are trying to interact, whatever experience we're having at the moment. Businesses that succeed in doing that will seem frictionless and will tend to buy more and stay longer with them and refer them to our friends and family. So the reason why we want to go through that digital journey and get there is because this ends up in a really happy customer. And this brings us to a digital experience platform. A digital experience platform basically is a tool in achieving this vision of a better customer experience, this vision of being able to connect to the customer in a better, more scalable way, saving costs, saving acquisition costs, saving service costs, and creating new opportunities, which allows our organizations to grow. So what is a DXP? I get this question a lot for other people. Isn't this just a fancy marketing name for websites and CMSs, and it's just old wine packed in new bags? Well, it isn't. The shift from like the really simple websites we used to have a decade or 2 decades ago already, HTML, CSS websites, which allows us to put something out there and other people could go and visit it, was great, but it was not really friendly to maintain and for people to collaborate on. So the last 2 decades, so it became really easy for marketers and the customer to put the content out there, to collaborate among each other. And the shift from a website to a CMS is as big as the shift from a CMS to a DXP. So a DXP being a digital experience platform. And the shift it's on another level. It's on the level where we're going to use the data and know the customer, so we can use that data to give them the best experience possible. So what is the difference between a CMS and a DXP? So let's try to break this down so we can understand this correctly. So the biggest thing to remember here is knowing the customer is key, and the focus is on the experience. So what we are looking for is personalization, omni-channel, going through these different channels, measuring if our efforts are successful, and increasing this user experience. And by doing this, we can decrease a lot of costs in a lot of places. If we break it down in the three components, the experience management platform, we can already see what CMS was already doing. So the management part, it's already been taken care of. We do have user accounts, we can collaborate, we have content management, we have this security administration, it's already there. Also on the experience side, of course, even the simplest website, even the simplest HTML, CSS website, in essence, it's a digital experience. It's a very simple one. And it already had an experience in the CMS. For example, if you're using a CMS like Drupal, you can already orchestrate these experience presentation. You can, as a marketer or content administrator, you can define the layout, you can put blocks in different places. It's also possible to search, navigate, all these things are already there. What is not built in by default in a CMS is analytics and optimization, and the personalization and context awareness. Why is this? This is because we need to leverage data to do this. We need to capture the data of the behavior of the customer, and we have to combine it. If the customer is known to us, if he's logged in, we can combine this with the behavior data, and doing so, that will allow us to build this personalized context and have these analytics and this extra knowledge on the customer. To be able to do these things, this was not possible 10 years ago. There we're going to the platform side, where we have the cloud available to us, which allows us to capture all that data and store it securely. But also here you can see already things that the CMS already has, especially a CMS like Drupal has the architecture and application development built into it, the integration and interoperability, it's built into it, the multi-channel support, it has headless capabilities, usabilities, but it does not come out of the box running in the cloud by itself, and it also doesn't allow you to leverage machine learning, applied AI, which can be used to search segments in all that data and search for insights in all that data in a way that we cannot do in a manual way. So that's new, and all this translates into more capabilities, a better platform, a better tool to give the customer what he really wants, and that's a personalized experience. So a couple of slides now that we're following is I've tried to explain this concept of DXP to a lot of different stakeholders, and the first one is the slide I show most to business-oriented people. So to explain what the DXP is, it's basically the software that runs between the outside of your organization and the inside. It allows you to what you know of the customer and your products and your business to combine this with each other and translate that to your customer? If I'm talking to more digital IT oriented business decision makers, then we can see what I show you here is a simplified enterprise architecture diagram where you have the business logic layer, your typical ERP, enterprise resource system, your customer relationship management, product inventory, digital asset management. We have the authentication layer. On top of that, you'll be having your experience layer. While in the past, the website or even the CMS was on an island, the DXP is not. The DXP is connecting the data it is capturing with the data that is already known from the customer in order to build that better digital experience across all these channels. If I'm talking to marketers, I usually show them the funnel. So we're capturing traffic on all these digital channels. Maybe we have, say, outbound salespeople who are active in the market and are trying to capture leads and are also driving traffic to our websites, where we are capturing all that traffic. We're probably sending emails, maybe marketing automation. We're using video to engage with our users. We're using webinars, like for example, we're doing the same thing here, or our chatbot is talking to customers through the website and driving them through the different stages of the funnel while we are analyzing them. So obviously personalizing the experience on all these touch points will benefit how customers are moving through the funnel. So once we understand what the DXP is, the next thing we need to wonder, like, is my business, is it for my business valuable to invest in experience, in digital experience? Is it needed? Well, I've found some really interesting research about this from Gartner, where there was research around customer experience projects. And what astonished me was that there was at 93% was measuring some kind of ROI. So that's all the projects. 93% of them had in some way a positive metric on the customer experience. And if we could break that down, we could see it going from customer loyalty to revenue, lifetime value, all the way to even for marketers, increased brand value, for operational professionals, driving down the cost of service, driving down the cost of acquisition. So yeah, lots of benefits to be found in customer experience. If we look at software as a service company, if your company is software business, it was even more dramatic, where promoters churn 40% less and are bringing in 40% of the more marketing qualified leads, which means your customers are talking about you if they have a great customer experience, having you to spend less on bringing in new customers, or using your customer acquisition team, your sales team, and your marketing team and the budgets far more efficiently. And then a more macroeconomic one that I also thought was really interesting to put right in there was if you would have been investing in a stock portfolio where you would have selected companies who were known to invest in their customer satisfaction as their key focus, you would have outperformed the market by 5 times. So this clearly shows a trend in the market. So what we're seeing is the return on experience. And to understand what is this return, this is a return on investment of investing in experience, in customer experience, and digital experience. If we want to break that more into pieces, I've found some more research, and here we're getting more in the marketing metrics. So what we're looking at is we're measuring this in more views, more time on site, and this is research where personalization engines have been used. So we're looking at decreased bounce rates. So bounce rates are people who are exiting your website before any meaningful time spent on there, and you see your emails getting opened higher. The use of self-service features was a lot higher. This one is especially promising. We also have a case, a similar case, which I'll be showing in a couple of moments, and better services. All of these things resulting in reductions of cost of acquisition and in service costs. If we look at when you are deploying this in an e-commerce context, we're looking at increasing order values, better conversion rates, better increased revenue, less carts abandoned. Yeah, so the research really backs this up. That if we are able to digitally personalize these touches with our customers, that we can achieve these results. Now, if we summarize the return on experience, we can put it in 3 pillars. One is customer lifetime value. Customers will stay longer, spend more with our companies. We look also at customer acquisition costs, which will go down. Especially interesting for sales and marketing professionals. And if we look to the third one, for more service operations oriented professionals, we can decrease these service costs and also decrease the marginal costs. So we'll be able to service a lot more customers with the same effort by doing it digitally, automating processes, etc., and using the data of the customer to make that go more smoothly. So then we're coming to Drupal as a DXP. So if you have a Drupal website, Drupal of course has been around for 20 years. It's still going very strong, and it's also evolving in the DXP space. And this is where Dropsolid as a company also wants to make an impact and a contribution on getting Drupal from the CMS level to the DXP level. And on top of the CMS, we're looking at extra components to bring Drupal to the DXP level. So what is needed, the first new component is the customer data platform, where we will be capturing this data from all our channels our customer is touching, and we'll be able to segment this data into different segments, therefore knowing the customer better, and then we'll be able to use these segments on the website. Like, for example, if we would be on our website, we'll be typically having our technical decision maker, our marketing decision maker, and business decision maker together with our the people who are going to our website to find a job, and our community audience that is visiting. We can see that in the data. I'll show you later how we can build this up. So knowing that, clearly we can show other call to actions. We can present, for example, another webinar to the right persona. We can do all sorts of things, increasing the conversion of our marketing efforts and our advertising spend. So the right people will sign up for the right content and for the right interactions. The other part is the marketing automation part, where we basically will be looking at configuring automated triggered messages. Like, for example, if you've been subscribing to this webinar, you got a couple of reminder emails to tell you about this is the webinar is coming and what you need to prepare for. Knowing who your customer is, you can start to personalize these emails, these touch points as well. And the last part, we need to have a true DXP. We need to have business intelligence. For example, we will be able to connect this with Google Analytics and Google Data Studio to segment the data we already have in Google Analytics based on the discovered segment. So we will be able to see this persona will be able to see how the percentage of that persona was on conversion. We'll be able to see the time on site of that persona in our data. And having all these components make sure that you do have a DXP, which clearly is far more than having a CMS, which you're already using to put the content out there and to collaborate as marketeers and developers. Now, to show you a couple of cases where customer experience improved the functioning of the organization. Like, for example, it can be really simple things. For example, improving the search accuracy of on a website like the one UZ Antwerpen, drastically lowered support calls because people would be finding content about supplements. Obviously, most people looking for supplements were looking for how much I'm gonna pay more for a hospital room if I'm alone. But they were getting also search results on the first place about food supplements, not finding what they were looking for. They call the hospital, somebody has to talk to them. Okay, that costs your organization a lot of money. The more customers you have, the more that will cost you. So by doing these simple customer experience tweaks, so it doesn't have to be like really like a full big bang to have a better customer experience. You can do this step by step. Also, building this platform, you can do this step by step. You can start with a CMS, build and collect your data, start with sending emails, start with doing basic business analytics, and go from there. It's a process. The same with building channels. Like, for example, there's different websites here for the UZ, but what we really want is one experience across all these channels over different devices, not really building new websites with these things, but you can do it step by step by building it further. Hope to talk to you about the results of that next year. More about the step-by-step channel building is a case, Sudal, for example, where we have the website, the mobile application, and then there's the idea, okay, can we put a screen in the stores so someone can in the DIY store can easily in 3 clicks, just like on the website, from any channel select the right product. Of course, that's possible. You build channel by channel, and you start collecting data channel by channel. Same thing here. You start to integrate system by system, and you start to personalizing the web pages, and step by step, you're starting to measuring these results. This is an e-commerce offline online combination where we get people to the store and then later upsell them once they've bought the main item, which is the mattress. So step by step, you can build these things, start to collect data, etc. We will see in a moment how we can do that, how we can start collecting this data. But first, what's the implication for your business? Well, the implication for your business is that if you focus on this, you'll get the return on experience. You'll get more time on site, more page views, more conversions. You'll get more lifetime value, acquisition costs, all these things. You'll get that competitive advantage. Imagine the customer having an experience like this on all touch points with your company or organization, personalized for him. If you can offer this is a competitive advantage. Is if the competitor does not have this and it's more generic and depends on more physical touch points which are less scalable, he'll have to make more costs, and probably the customer will not be so happy because he cannot do it himself, especially the simple things. And last but not least, you'll know your customers once you start to collect that data. So all the data that's on your website, and probably many of you will already collect this in Google Analytics, but Google Analytics does not show who is on your website. It shows general metrics. It shows for everyone how much time on site is on your website. Okay, you can segment by the campaigns who's coming in, but it cannot segment by the segments that you have defined yourself in the data. And that's where a lot of the advantages come from. So most of the time you'll not be able to do this totally alone. So you'll be able to look for a partner for this. And I wanted to give you some tips on where to look for. I think you should be look for if you look for a partner in this, I think you'll have to look for a partner that's complete, that can help you with both the strategy and designing the experience and optimizing everything, because there will be more integration work. It will require them to also have some really technical capabilities to do this. So to achieve this, you'll need a strategic partner who can unlock this ROX and this competitive advantage. If you look at the implications for your developers and your marketers, maybe you have them or you're hiring them. What we see there is that developers and marketers will work even closer together, because developers will be focusing on building that experience. They're not be just writing code. They're really contributing to the business value on building a better experience. So it's really important they know this. And also marketers and content managers will have far more control building the experience per segment of your customers, because they'll have access to all that data and will be able to combine this with the content. So for content marketers and for marketers and content managers, they'll also have to try to think in a more data-driven way, like not just creating the general experience for everyone, but also start to think, okay, this type of customer segment, what is the journey for this type of customer segment, and how can we build this journey across our touch points? And therefore, they'll also have to work more with developers, which will be building a lot of these touch points for these different customer segments. So that's also an implication to keep in mind. Just quickly for the ones who are into open source and like to contribute to Drupal and making things better overall, you can be part of it. Most of the code that is needed to make this work with Drupal is being contributed. If you're interested, you can contact our CTO Nick Veenhoff, who is leading the Drupal community efforts. So we're also giving back a lot of this development to the community globally. So if you want to be part of this, please do so. And then finally, the next steps, how to get from a CMS to a DXP, the 5 next steps. How do you get really practical? How do you get this going? So you need to have a CMS up and running. So that's the first step. And then build and deploy the content across these touch points. To do that, you will have to define in some way who are my known customer segments and what is the relevant content. So that's the basics. That's just building a good CMS website. That's the first step. Then the next step is start capturing. So if you already have this, it's the next step is to deploy a script like Google Analytics script, for example, in your Google Tag Manager. That will start to capture the data. So every click, every interaction with the words, with everything is captured by that script, is being sent to the CDP, which is called Unomi. It's an open source engine where all these profiles and all that data from all these customers is stored, and where you can build according to certain conditions. What kind of segments do you have? And then the actions based on that segments can be defined on your web pages and in your mobile apps. But first, you need to build these and these segments. So that's what the interface on the CDP and Dropsolid platform does. It allows you to manually configure the customer segments, and it's also able to use machine learning to automatically detect the segments in your website. So it's basically able to take all that data, which is a lot. It's stored in a big database, and it's using a machine learning algorithm, a pattern recognition algorithm, to classify the different segments. Just doing that, capturing your data, letting the machine learning run on your data will give you a lot of insights on how your customers are engaging with your website, and will already learn you a lot things that you can't see in Google Analytics. And then the fourth step is, once you have the segments, once you have the high value segments, you can go into the Drupal CMS and then configure any part of the Drupal site to appear when the segment is active. Like, for example, on our website, if you would detect you're someone who's looking for a job, we will show you call to actions everywhere to apply for a job at Dropsolid. So we'll change the call to actions on our website based on us knowing, or our machine learning algorithm knowing who you are. And you'll also be able to use these same segments in your email campaigns. So you'll be able to send different emails to different people, detecting on what segment they could be, even though they're anonymous and you don't know them. If we look at the fifth step is connecting with the CDP, with Google Analytics. And what we'll be doing is we'll be sending the segments as a custom dimension to Google Analytics. So doing that, we'll be able to evaluate how many sessions for a certain segment are registered, and you'll be able to access all the data in Google Analytics just using these custom dimensions. So you'll be not only seeing the general data, but you'll be able to segment the data based on the segments you've been designing. And if you know those segments, and you know which segments are really important to you, you can start to personalize the journey of that segment. And doing so, you should see the time on site increase and the goal completions. And if you're in e-commerce, you would see your e-commerce sales go up as well. increasing your return on experience. So that's in 5 steps how you can get really practical. And if you already have Drupal, it's it's in a couple of weeks that you're getting the data in and starting to build content and segments, and you're already building your digital experience. So that's what it makes really easy. And that's what we are trying to achieve, connecting business and marketing with technology. And we're trying to help out on making it easy for companies to move to Drupal, and if they're already on Drupal, to get to the DXP level and up their customer experience. So the conclusion of the webinar: CMS is not enough anymore. We get to know our customers so we can give them what they want. We need to know them better than they know themselves so we can help them better. And that way we'll be able to unlock the return on experience. So that was it. If you have questions, I'll be happy to take them. Let's get back to Leen. Okay.
So far, no questions in the chat, but I do think it might be helpful to have a quick look at the poll that we initiated at the beginning of the session, where it's very we have a clear winner that a lot of, at least the people on the session, a lot of businesses are still struggling or finding it challenging to track the return of their campaigns and to improve on that level. A few are already starting to see data consolidation and data activation, so using that data to probably to personalize. So that, at least for me, that's a good sign that there's already some businesses that are looking in this direction of working more with their data.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can see the campaign and return on investment of tracking and improvements is the priority. Actually, to achieve that, using your data and personalizing the experience can definitely improve the campaign ROI that we're looking for. Okay, Sufyan is asking, how can I measure the return on experience? Well, I think measuring the return on experience, the first step is to segment your data and measure it using the tools that you are already using, Google Analytics, and see if when you are personalizing your experience, is my time on site getting better? Is the result I'm getting from my campaigns, is my conversion is getting better? Am I getting the right customers to respond to me? So that would be the first step to measure your return on experience. Once you have converted these customers and they're starting to spend at your company and you're servicing them, are these customers profitable? Are these the customers that are driving your business, are exactly for you? Are they staying longer at your business? Are you able to upsell them with more products and services because they're the right customer for you? And can you measure that? And that will be, then you get into the financial metrics of managing your seeing what's the lifetime value of a customer, how are you spending on sales and marketing and service and delivery. So ROX has two different levels. The first one is the marketing metrics, which are pretty fast and easy to see if you're making impact. The next one, yeah, that takes some time to see how that evolves. Okay. If there are no more questions, then I think we'll wrap this up. Then thank you for following this webinar, and make sure you subscribe to the next ones. There's Lane is giving another one in a couple of weeks. Our managing director on a Lane and strategic director. We have our CTO for the more technical people who are giving a couple of webinars. So make sure to go to the resources page on the website and subscribe to the next webinars. See you later. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining. Bye.
Bye bye.